Yeah. No, 100%, 100%. We got a comment in the chat from Anthony who says, most impressive was Edna Kiplagat today, second place at 41 years old. So let's talk about the women's race. Let's talk about the women's race right now. That took on different form. It was a huge group throughout. From the American perspective, we found out ahead of time that Molly Huddle had scratched the race. She's due to she's expecting. Congrats to her. And Linden and Hasay were the other two big name Americans. They were out of it relatively early on. The American presence was led by Nell Rojas, who did some leading in that big pack. But Danny Kipyokei made a move around 142 or so on the clock, about 18 miles. Gudeta of Ethiopia catches her. It looks to be a 1-2 battle. But then Edna Kiplagat, as I mentioned, she's won 3 world marathon majors. She's won 2 world titles. She's always on the podium. She's been doing this for a decade, Alex. Sneaks back in. She had been dropped. She closes the gap. She makes this thing real interesting. But at the end there, it was Kipyokei getting the win. 224.45 to Kiplagat's 225.09. But just a model of consistency, Kiplagat, and now Kipyokei, a new name. This appeared to be, according to Tapaya, her third marathon that she's finished in her career. She has a 222 PB.
Overall, I'd say at the beginning of the women's race, I was surprised to see how it just felt really like not aggressive at all. It felt like,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not a knock on it on the women that were like up in the front. It's just like really nobody put the nails into to drive the pace. And
Mm-hmm.
um, huge shout out to Nel Rojas. I mean, Rojas has been on a tear over the last few years, and quick shout out. I mean, even at the end, like her coming into the straightaway, she was still moving
Mm-hmm.
really strong. I mean, she was strong. Obviously, she was like feeling the lactic and like hurting, but she was not like it wasn't like she was brittle and falling apart. You know what I mean? So like
Mm-hmm.
totally legit Rojas. I think planting the flag in the ground that her performances and at the 10 mile and grandmas like were absolutely legit right now. For the elite women, for the front of the elite women, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kipyokei, I honestly thought she was gonna like fall off the handle. She made like a
Mm-hmm.
move around 20. She looked pretty rough, and I'm really
Yeah.
impressed with the way she rallied and came back. Because man, there was a moment in there that I was like, this whole front women's pack is like this race is not over, and she was
Mm-hmm.
faltering and. Like Kiplagat's like on her heels, and it was so great.
Mm-hmm.
Like Kara kept kind of like throwing in the little seeds there. I was like, is she still in the mix? Is she still
Mm-hmm.
there? She absolutely was. Huge shout out to like fighting back and remaining dialed, because that was such a strange way. The way like Kipyokei started to stretch it out and then it kind of pulled back in, and I thought I thought Kipyokei was going to falter for sure. Held on for dear life and finished really really strong, and then yeah, and then Kiplagat, 41 years old and absolutely smashing still, is incredible. And like, there's no reason to think that I mean, finished really well in a solid, major marathon today. No reason to think she's slowing down at all. So huge props to her. Other women in the field today, I think uh, we had Dakota from our friend from Minnesota. She also was a grandma's winner. She was up in the mix for a little bit there, smiling for like 15 straight miles. Got some good camera time. She looked really strong. Fell off a little bit. And then yeah, like you kicked off, Des and Jordan didn't get to see them a ton today.